Hello and welcome to our first edition of TOJOY podcast. Today's topic is about what to expect from China's economy with the new challenges of 2020. I'm Chang Nguyen and I'm in charge of PR and marketing in TOJOY Western Europe, based in Paris. So before we start, maybe a few words about TOJOY. So TOJOY was founded in 1991 and operates the largest business acceleration and investment platform. Over the past 29 years, TOJOY has successfully built a comprehensive and highly efficient platform for business incubation, acceleration, and related professional services. Through its network, which consists of 700,000 entrepreneurs, TOJOY offers access to funding, operation management, necessary support, and business intelligence in order to help business grow faster in China and also to reduce the risk of expansion in China. As we all read in the news and in the headlines, China is facing a major challenge with the COVID-19 virus, which has a great impact on China's economy and geopolitics. So I'm joining Yves Leterme, former Prime Minister of Belgium and President of TOJOY Western Europe, today to discuss about this topic. Welcome, Yves. But before we dive into the topic, what to expect from China's economy with the new challenges of 2020, could you tell us more about you and your connection to China and TOJOY?
Well, my involvement in TOJOY started 5-6 years ago when I was first invited to attend some seminars that TOJOY is typically holding all over China, where potential investors meet to assess investment opportunities. Chairman Liu organizes these seminars in China, and then after having been present in, I think, something like 6 to 7 of these seminars, 1.5 years ago I was asked to take more responsibility, and currently I'm chairing the board of TOJOY Europe Middle East with headquarters here in Paris, and I'm also a member of the board of TOJOY Shared Holdings in Beijing.
Thank you, Yves. Now we'd like to know, what is your opinion about the impact of the COVID-19 on the healthcare industry, and what does it mean exactly for the life of enterprises?
Well, you asked about the impact of the virus on both healthcare and the life of enterprises. I think that in both cases, the first priority, I think, currently is just to tackle the issues of emergency, the most urgent issues, which are in the field of healthcare, of course, trying to save lives, trying also to take care the best way possible of people that are affected by the virus and people that are suffering. And so I think that there the Chinese authorities have shown a very impressive capacity to organize first responses and urgent responses to the needs of people. I think that gradually now we will also see more initiatives taken in the field of prevention to avoid this from happening again, and also to have more structural health policy and measures and also regulation. I already read that Chinese authorities have forbidden now some parts of the sales and trade of wildlife and of animals on markets. So I think we will see more of this, but very important, I think, also for Western organizations, for companies also that want to be more involved in China, is that in any case, worldwide, but more particularly, of course, in China, there will be opportunities to support the efforts of the Chinese authorities to invest more in prevention, in healthcare, in hospitals, in medical care as a whole, in health policy as a whole. The same goes for the economy. I think the first concern now for the Chinese authorities is to tackle issues of sustainability of economic activities for small enterprises, for instance, that run out of cash, where you have no activities anymore. Think about restaurants, shops, all kinds of small enterprises, even medium enterprises, where people have been out of production for 2, 3, 4 weeks, sometimes more than a month. It's good to see that now, step by step, in some parts, most parts of China, normality is coming back again. But still, for the treasury of these enterprises, I think what happened is very challenging in terms of sustainability. And the first measures the Chinese authorities will take, I think, is to give loans, low-interest loans, to give more time for people to pay their taxes, to pay their social security levies and allowances. Well, the kind of thing we also would do and we have done in the past in Europe. Once this is over, I think we will have a rebound of the Chinese economy. I think the first quarter will be very bad. But then from the second quarter and certainly the third quarter, normally you will see a rebound of the Chinese economy, like we saw also with the SARS epidemic. And there we, as an international community, I think we should stand ready also to seize the opportunities and to support the recovery of the Chinese economy.
The virus affected also daily lives of 1.4 billion Chinese citizens. Yves, what do you think about the reactions of the Chinese citizens towards the crisis?
Well, on the one hand, it's an excellent question. On the other hand, it's difficult, of course, to really imagine how people are feeling and how public opinion is in China, seen from the outside, far away from there. I would like also to pay a tribute explicitly to Chinese citizens, Chinese entrepreneurs, civil society that have reacted with a lot of calm to what's happening. And I think that also the fact that instructions were very well followed up, apparently, how to behave in such situation, not giving space to panic reactions is really, I think, deserves respect. I think we as an international community also have a responsibility, a task, and also a possibility to help the Chinese society to regain normality as soon as possible. I would give two examples. I think we will see a lot of stories going over the world about what's happened. Attitudes will change towards China and towards Chinese products. Let's have a very balanced reaction and a rational reaction. So there's no need to avoid China. There's no need to avoid Chinese citizens. And I think re-engaging very dynamically as soon as possible, as soon as we can, from a safety point of view with China, very intensely, I think is something the international community should do. And in that way also by doing so, can help the Chinese society to come back to normality, which is important at the end of the day to regain trust, which is crucial for economic activities.
Before the outbreak of the COVID-19 epidemic, there were some ongoing policy discussions. Can you share with us which actions do you think on the themes of the long-term policy agenda should be resumed?
Well, of course, we're still in the midst of the crisis, and for instance, from an economic point of view and policy-wise, in terms of achieving goals, quarter 1 and 2 will be affected. Certainly quarter 1 will be bad, maybe also quarter 2. But as soon as normality is step by step coming back, I think the two main policy priorities on the agenda will be continue again poverty eradication and be successful in that field in making socio-economic progress, including in the daily lives of people. And number 2 is trying to continue to make progress in the issue of trade tensions with the US and the negotiations with Europe. In poverty eradication, 2020 was a crucial year for China. Maybe there could be a little bit of delay, but I think it's important that the Chinese authorities take measures, all kinds of measures, including using stimuluses, to come back on track in terms of socio-economic progress for all citizens in China, but more particularly also in alleviating and eradicating poverty. On the trade war, I hope that US people will not seize opportunities that they would see benefiting of the weakness, the temporary weakness of the Chinese economy. So I hope they support a reintegration of China fully in the international economy, international trade. There's no reason to stay in a kind of decoupled situation like now. China has suffered, Chinese economy has suffered, so let's be open-minded in terms of solving the remaining issues between the US and China in terms of the trade war, trade tensions. We have a very important responsibility as Europeans and also an opportunity in having a different approach. And there will be at the end of the year normally a summit in Germany between the EU and China where we hope a new global agreement could be achieved. I think that kind of negotiations is an excellent opportunity for Europe internally to go away from the Brexit agenda, to have again a constructive and positive international agenda, and for China, of course, to have a balanced approach of future trade between Europe and China.
Thank you so much, Yves, for sharing your insights on the subject, and a big thank you to the audience for listening to our podcasts. We'll have regular podcasts about doing businesses in China and what a company needs to know about funding and the right strategy and more, and how TOJOY is supporting its partners during this crisis. Please feel free to leave a comment on topics you are interested in or any feedback on the content of this edition.